G'day everyone, Paul here for HobStar Computing Solutions, and welcome to episode 2 of Raspberry Pi and Linux and all things new and exciting. Before we get started today, I just wanted to go over one jargon word. We have been talking about Linux as an OS. First of all, what is an OS or operating system? Basically, an operating system is a piece of software that sits on your computer and communicates with all your devices. So it will receive inputs from your keyboard, it connects to your printer, tells you things to send to your printer, displays things on your screen, receives input from your mouse, etc. So what is Linux then? Well, Linux is an operating system just like Windows 7 or Windows 10 is. There are a few major differences though. First of all, Windows is not free, definitely not free. There was a 1 year grace period where people who were running Windows 7 could upgrade to Windows 10 for free, and I did a bit of research, and it turns out not a lot of people did that. I heard a lot of stories of people being accidentally upgraded to Windows 10 and having a bit of a trouble getting it back again. It's not the most hugely popular system. I'm personally still running Windows 7. I've chosen not to upgrade, but down the line, January 2020, which is not that far away now if you really think about it, Microsoft is going to stop supporting Windows 7. So I'm using this opportunity with my new Raspberry Pi to start playing around with Linux, and together we'll be learning a lot. I don't know a lot. I've watched some videos, I've done some reading, but this is going to be a learning process for me as well. Now, since last time in the video, I have added the case to my Raspberry Pi. I've not done these sorts of videos before, so please do excuse me if you can't see too well. Nice case that came with it. Very nice, that comes off just easily, it doesn't actually clip on, which surprised me, but you can install things like, you can get a little camera add-on, which slips into the circuit board there, and it can sit underneath the Pi here, or you can attach it coming out the side. I have plugged into my monitor. Now normally with a better, newer monitor, you could go straight HDMI cable into it. I don't have the extra one handy, it's okay, I packed it away. So what I have here is an adapter that goes from HDMI to the old RGB, or I recognise this one. Let's go and unscrew it for a second. This kind of cable here. I'll also put a diagram on the screen so you know what I'm talking about. Alrighty, now this is going to be the first time booting it, and if this is as advertised, it should have a basic operating system already installed on the flash card, which is right in there, tiny. Very hard to see. So this is going to be the first time powering it up. Where's the power on this one? God, it's so tiny. What side is it on? Aha, it's there. Let's see. Okay, powering on. Got a light there. Something on the screen already. I've also plugged in my keyboard and the little dongle for my mouse. So it comes up on the screen. Yep. Looks like it's already got some stuff there. It's doing some information about configuring the hard drive and installing Noobs, which is an operating system pretty much just designed to let you install other operating systems. So for example, let's check the camera here. That looks pretty good. You can't see the top of the screen. There's nothing else up there, so we don't need to worry about that. Raspbian recommended. So this is already ready to be installed. It's on the memory card, ready to go. Raspbian is the distro of Linux designed specifically for the Raspberry Pi. With Linux being an operating system, you can have many flavors of Linux. Each one of these is called a distro or distribution. Often each distribution is designed for different purposes. Sometimes it is merely the way it looks. Some of them come pre-installed with certain programs with specific purposes, but we'll get to that much later on. An excellent example, just before we move on, is one that I mentioned in the previous video, which is RetroPie, which is a distro specifically designed to run old arcade games. And we're going to click on that, and we're just going to go install. Warning, this will install the selected operating system. All existing data on the SD card will be overwritten, including any OSs that are already installed. Well, there's none, so yes. Go for it. when my wife saw the computer last night, she was expecting something small, red, and round, much like what you see here, instead of the nice little clear case. Another thing that I have also got, which I forgot to show in the last video, back in the background, I got myself also some of my birthday money, an external hard drive. This one is a 2 terabyte Seagate, and it just has a single cable here. It just runs off one cable, like this, goes that way, and that plugs straight into the USB of your computer, and it powers and provides the data in one thing. So these are great for out and about, and because they don't have moving parts like sort of traditional old hard drives, it can withstand, you know, a bit of a rough housing, if you will. It gets a little bit warm, but it doesn't have any moving parts in it, so they last a lot longer. Solid state hard drives, beautiful. All right. One of the programs you want to get into is Scratch. It's a graphical language designed to teach the basics of programming to young children and beginners. Well, I fit one of those categories, and as I have kids, it's something that I wanted to get them into. Sonic Pi is a programming language which allows you to compose and perform music. Another good example. Let's see what that's all about. Scratch is basic programming done with visual elements. So instead of typing in commands, you can drag little pieces together and it forms the logic that makes programs. I know of Python. I did a little bit back in the day, back when I was doing my diploma. I can't really remember too much, to be honest. But we're going to come back once this is finished and see what comes up.